We are back. This is a very familiar sight to many of you all. It's why a lot of you guys are here and gals. This is the dove field, and we are kicking off dove farming season 4 right now. Good shot. We've got 3,000 subscribers more than we had when we first started this thing, which is pretty cool that y'all care and you're hanging around and sharing it with your friends. So thank you for that. We might be planting on rows this year, but don't hold me to it. I got some work to do on that. A deal with a planter fell through. I was this close to having a nice John Deere 1-row planter, but that fell through. We did some soil sampling out here a couple weeks ago. I'm still letting those soil samples dry out. What I did was use a soil auger or like a soil probe, like you use to get core samples out of your soil. And I came out here and took composite samples on each of these 3 subdivided fields. If you've been following along, you know we've got a 4-acre field here, and it is subdivided into 3 smaller fields. 3/4 of an acre, half an acre, and 1 acre where I'm standing right now, where my fake power line is. This whole field is pretty much set up and managed for dove hunting. It's a family tradition for us. We have a lot of fun doing it, and we have been doing it for very many years out here successfully. It's nothing to have 3, 4, 5, 6-man limits on opening day just on this little small 4-acre field you see here. We haven't done a soil sample out here since we bought the property, 10 years ago now maybe. So what I did was I took composite samples in each of these 3 fields. I took 4 sample locations in this field called the upper field. I took 4 total samples in the long field here, and then 4 total samples in what we call the backfield. We had millet here last year, we had field corn here, and sunflowers up here, and we're gonna rotate everything this year. So my soil samples that I'm doing, all these composite soil samples are gonna be turned in and test for the nutrient and lime needs based on this year's planting, as well as the anticipated crop rotation for next year. Like I said, there's a lot of things kind of in the works right now. I've already reserved the no-till drill from the co-op. That's gonna take a little bit of extra work. I'm not sure if that's worth the effort or not yet. All else fails, we can come back in here and broadcast spread like we've always done. So again, don't hold me to that, but we're trending in the direction of planting on rows, which will make a lot of you folks happy, I know. I have a lot of other projects coming up. You know, we installed electric fence around that field because of the major deer predation problem. We started installing the poles here and just simply ran out. So we're gonna pick that project back up and extend these poles down both sides and then make them temporary on the end so we can protect this half-acre field, and we'll rotate the sunflowers into here for this year. And hopefully that'll help with some of the pest problems we had over here. And if we can get it fenced off, hopefully it'll protect us from the deer. One thing I'm pretty excited about is back here, this is the 1-acre field. This is the biggest continuous field. It's actually a little over an acre. And we're gonna do another Roundup Ready field corn back here. Last year we did a half-acre of field corn. It actually went pretty well. I needed to bump my seeding rate up, and I found out that the dwarf corn actually has a really low germination rate. So this year the plan is to go ahead and get a bag of not dwarf corn, but just regular, good Roundup Ready field corn, and we're gonna plant an entire acre of corn this year, 3/4 of an acre of millet, and a half-acre of sunflowers. We got a lot of work to do between fencing in this field, getting the tractor potentially set up for a drill or row planter. Got all the soil testing left to do yet still. We got all the plugs, but got to go get them turned in, get those results back, and then get lime out here if necessary. So a lot of projects still left to do, but the countdown clock to planting day starts today. We'll be planting hopefully the weekend of May 11th, which will be here before we know it. One thing notable that's very different we're gonna do is we planted all this in wheat last year, and normally we let that wheat go all the way to maturity in the field that we're gonna be planting millet in, and then we'll come back in and do a no-till broadcasting of the millet into the standing wheat and end up with a double crop for the doves. And that worked fantastic the last couple years. This year, Dad is gonna come in here and till all this up early and try and get some of these rocks out of here. Our field are just plagued with rocks. And so he bought an instrument that is made to help sift out the rocks out of here. That is not overly imperative we do that. And if this ground doesn't dry out, then it's probably not gonna get done at all. It is a muddy mess out here. So I don't know if that's gonna happen at all. If we don't end up tilling it and de-rocking it, then I will come through here in a couple weeks, 1st of April, and do a herbicide burn down of both of these fields. So that's all dependent on the weather. If it stays wet, we just can't do it. I keep waiting on the turkeys to show up, because we've got some Austrian winter peas, oats, and wheat all in these fields out here. Dad has seen a few gobblers during deer season, but we have not seen them in the last month, I would say, maybe 2 months. So fingers crossed the turkeys show up in here, because these are just gorgeous green fields just begging for a tom turkey. That'll be another update, hopefully coming soon, is it'll be a year since I harvested our first turkey off the farm here last year. If you didn't catch that video, I'll link it below. That was fun. And he is headed off to the taxidermist and has been there for a year now. So that'll be coming up soon. We'll do an update video on how we decide to get that mounted. The first one we've harvested off the farm out here, and Dad was down here to be a part of that. But until then, we've got a lot of work left to do out here just to get ready for the season. We treat it like a job. We take it serious like a business, even though it is all for fun and for hobby. So the next step will be getting our soil sample results back, tinkering away with more projects out here. But until then, as always, thank you guys for watching. God bless. Take care.